Excellent. Let's go live now. Thank you everyone for joining. Hi. Since our first foray into character creation, I have done a little bit of tweaking to the random character creator that I've been using to demonstrate how to create 5th edition characters, as well as populating a fictional world. It's also a way for us to be able to connect as broadcaster and audience, as I accept input such as eye color, name, and we can even collaborate on the backstory for these characters. Tonight I'm going to make 2 different characters again, and we'll add those to the 2 that were created in the last session. After that, we can go over some storytelling basics. Let's begin. Here, on the left, is the random character protocol that I made. On the right is a form fillable PDF that contains a full 3-page synopsis of your character that we can get into tremendous detail. We're going to be doing a lot of the basics for right now, and then we can go back and fill in storyline later. Behind the scenes, the rest of the way to build a character, first level one, is going to be explained, so we don't need that. However, in the case that we end up rolling a multi-class character, this is going to be a handy reference for it. As well, this is a handy reference for which races and sub-races get which bonuses. And lastly, hiding behind here, is a random dice roller from Wizards. And what's nice, and something that we're going to end up using, is the custom one down here. We're going to be mostly using a D13 for the traditional backgrounds presented in the player's handbook. And if the need arises, there's a couple D3 instances we might run into. Okay, let's get this back on top and create our first character for the evening. First, we need to select our race. This is going to be a D10. We're going to re-roll the 10. Eventually, I will expand this to include Volos and some other sources. Right now, we're just using player handbook races, with our classes being player handbook and the evil options should we roll an evil character out of the DMG. 10. Okay, that's a re-roll. 3. Okay, we're going to make a quick indicator here. Now we're going to roll the D10 again to choose the sub-race. It is an odd number, so it's going to be sub-race 1. Next, we're going to determine the gender of the character, as well as indicating if it's going to be a multi-class character. I've weighted my percentages to allow for a 10% chance of a character being multi-classed. This can change depending on the campaign setting, your dinner table. You know, do you have min-maxer friends, or do you have friends who just love experimenting with whatever? 5th edition has a lot of flexibility when it comes to multi-classing. Min-maxing can happen, though you can fairly well mix any 2 classes together, as long as you're meeting the prerequisites. Okay, percentile. 42. That is going to be female. No multi-class. A 1 to 45 is female, 46 to 90 is male, and 91 to 100 is multi-class. And then we would re-roll the gender of the character, and if we got another multi-class, then this person apparently is very spread out. Alright, another D100 for alignment. $76 on one axis, 75 on the other. Now, to determine the level of the character we're creating. Let's roll a D100. 4. Is this character going to use feats? This is a new entry that I added to my sheet after the first broadcast to allow for us to start exploring those as options instead of just taking the stat bumps. 91 for feats. Now a D12 for our class. 5. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Fighter. Because this is a fighter. Ooh. Oh, pardon me. It's a little late. It's been snowy here, and having to attend to that can wear one out, especially before broadcasting. For a fighter, not only do you get an archetype, but you get a fighting style. We're going to need to roll a d6 to determine the fighting style. Okay, fighting style 1. And the archetype it's following is a D4 and a 1. Okay, before we continue, it's important to start referencing these charts and filling in items. Over here, we have our race is a 3. Pardon me. Ooh, a halfling. Subrace 1. This is going to be a Lightfoot halfling. Okay. Alignment was 76-75, so that's going to put us into neutral. Neutral. Sometimes that's called true neutral. Experience points, I put not applicable. I prefer leveling up my characters when I run campaigns or modules by milestones. That means once they've reached certain points in the story, they will level up intrinsically. It's kind of a progress bar and allows them to measure how much they have accomplished. All right. Our fighter's fighting style is archery, and the archetype is a champion. Although, real quick, this is going to be a level 2. Fighter 2, archery, champion. Okay. For feats, we had a 91. 91 is going to put us 2 if possible. though she's not going to be able to get any. So this low-level fighter is not going to have any feats because she hasn't even earned her first ability score bump yet. The reason we're filling this in first is because that's going to give us a little bit more guidance in how to fill in the ability scores. Okay. Now we're at height and weight. For a halfling, here we go. Starting at 2'7", and we're going to roll 2d4s plus 5. She's going to stand 3 feet tall. And her weight modifier is the number we rolled times 1 pound. They start at 35 pounds, which is going to put her as a 40-pound halfling. Eye, skin, and hair don't really... We could produce random charts, but we'll fill that in with fluff later. Now her background is a D13. We rolled a 12. Consulting the chart here, this is going to be a soldier. And now we have a few more things to roll up. Let's indicate real quick down here, and we can revise this later, that she's a soldier. Her particular brand of soldier is going to be a D8. So she received a 7. Then we roll twice for personality traits. This is also going to be a D8. 7 and 4. Actually, we can do that. Why don't we type that up here? 07 P7 4. Ideals, bonds, and flaws are going to be D6s. 6. 2. And 5. Now her age. We're going to reference this line here. A percentile is going to tell us how old she is in her life cycle. A 29. That's going to put her in young adulthood here, between the 6 to 35. Now we can arbitrarily determine what is a young adult halfling. They start at 20, and halflings can age to 250 or so, physically. This could give us maybe a 20-year spread within what we'd call a young adult. So, kind of flying by the seat of our pants, let's start at 20 and roll a d20, and we'll add that many years. 11. So, she's going to be 31 years old. Excellent. You know what? Let's get some background music playing. Okay. Scrolling down, we can now fill in our background characteristics. Races, classes, and these are going to be important. I'm going to do background first because a background is going to give you access to skills and even present some options. If we choose those first, we then won't be redundant when we go back to our class and choose skills that are offered from it. Is the music coming through for you all? I don't seem to hear it on my end. Well, we'll continue either way for right now. Go over to the player's handbook. Great old one, wizard. Okay, it's going to be coming up. Criminal, entertainer, guild artisan, sage, and sailor. Here's the soldier. Rolling a 7 on the specialty. This is showing that our young halfling fighter is was a standard bearer. And her personality revolves around these two aspects. I think that was a 7 and a 4. Whoopsie. Actually, can I Control Z that? Yeah. Okay, 7 and 4. I have a crude sense of humor, and I'm full of inspiring and cautionary tales from my military experience, relevant to almost every combat situation. Now we can begin thinking about her fluff, her story, her background, elements like this. How can we have a young fighter who's a standard bearer who has all these stories to tell? Well, being a standard bearer, she may not directly fight in combat, but she could have seen a lot of combat. In fact, she could have been in the military for years and years, but she's a low-level character, meaning she has low experience in swinging whatever weapon we give her, because she's carrying the standard into combat. Her ideals, we rolled a 6. Nation. My city, nation, or people are all that matter. So she's very patriotic, or she's very loyal. Bonds, we rolled a 2. Someone saved my life on the battlefield. To this day, I will never leave a friend behind. So she's paying it forward, it sounds like. And this can still work within the context of her being a true neutral character. Flaws, we rolled a 5. I obey the law, even if the law causes misery. Still able to keep a neutral tone with this. As a soldier, she gets some skill proficiencies, athletics, and intimidation. She gets a tool proficiency of one kind of a gaming set. That could be real world games we know, like chess or checkers, or there's several in-game games that exist, like Three Dragon Ante. You can make something up as well. We could say that she's gaming set dice. She's a dice roller. And land vehicles. She can drive a wagon. She's good at, I guess, tending to carts. Maybe a little bit of repair if needed. Or, she's ridden in the back, so if one goes out of control, she might not be the first to bounce up out of her seat or something. Equipment. Rank insignia. Then she gets a token or a trophy from a fallen enemy. She's a standard bearer herself. So let's give her there we go. We made her a dice roller, so we're going to give her a set of dice. Common clothes. And a belt pouch. With 10 gold pieces. It's a feature. She has military rank. It states you have a military rank from your career as a soldier. Soldiers loyal to your former military organization still recognize your authority and influence, and they defer to you if they are of a lower rank. You can invoke your rank to exert influence over other soldiers and requisition simple equipment or horses for temporary use. You can also usually gain access to friendly military encampments and fortresses where your rank is recognized. She's probably not the highest halfling on the totem pole. However, she is a part of a military organization, and she is willing to put herself at risk by being a standard bearer. That draws attention to you, right? You're carrying this standard. It has powerful, bold colors. It has maybe images of violence, like swords clashing, or ferocious beasts like a griffin or something on them. Draws attention to you. So she may not have a lot of combat experience to raise in the ranks that way, but being a standard bearer has maybe an unspoken wink and a nod, like, you know what, you're going above and beyond, you're not really wearing camouflage, you're arguably doing the opposite. So, as a DM, you could be flexible in that regard. Let's see. Obtain simple equipment, horses, or influence in friendly areas. Often temporary. Excellent. Now we can come up. You can see in the name I put the standard array for ability scores up here as a reminder about what is going to go where. Seeing that she is going to be an archery archetype of fighter, dexterity is going to be very important. That should get the highest. Although to note, you can make well-rounded characters. In D&D, you hit a natural cap of an ability score of 20 somewhat quickly. You can if you don't take feats and you go for pure ability bumps. If you want to make a rounded character, there's nothing wrong with that. Unless for whatever reason you're doing an extreme care op or character optimization. Have fun with it. Though in this case, I think this is going to help keep her alive and also help her combat abilities. Constitution is always a good go-to for your second ability score. It's more hit points, a little bit more survivability. Do we want to make her strong also, which could accent her athletics training from being a soldier? We can make her a bit of a face, or in this case, maybe a heel, because she has intimidation. Charisma can be very important too. And you know what? If you're a standard bearer, you're not a bard by class, but you're the face of the army. You're shouting, maybe you're even singing. So I think maybe charisma would be important here too. She's gonna need to survive. So let's put a 14 in con. Let's put a 13 in charisma. She needs to be perceptive, so she can see where she's at and maybe reconnoiter or rally. 12, 10, and you know what? She's not going to be the strongest woman on the battlefield in this case. She's going to have a different type of skill set despite being a soldier. All right, we have, consulting this other chart here, a halfling gets +2 dex, and a Lightfoot gets +1 charisma. So dexterity is going to be 17, and the charisma's, ooh, nice. We're going to get a modifier bump to that. Being a Lightfoot halfling is going to give us a couple other bonuses too. Okay, size. Yep, we did that. Speed is going to be 25 feet. Oop. Come on down, cursor. Lucky. When you roll a 1 on an attack roll, ability check or saving throw, you can re-roll the die and must use the new roll. Talk about a handy ability on a battlefield. Brave. You have advantage on saving throws against being frightened. Wow. You know what? That works extra well as a standard bearer too, because you have to be bold. You're in the front, or you have an army going against a dragon, or some great undead creature, and they use a supernatural ability, and suddenly everyone, or not everyone, but many people in the battlefield break. Well, there you are, strong and bold, despite being this this small little thing. And halfling nimbleness. You can move through the space of any creature that is of a size larger than yours. Languages. you get common and halfling. Naturally stealthy. You can attempt to hide even when you are obscured only by a creature that is at least one size larger than you. Interestingly enough, this can also... this might even be able to go to the banner itself, depending on how large it is, or let's say that, you know, the banner's planted and it's this long waving flag. She can try and hide behind that too. Or a standard bearer wouldn't want the flag of the army or the country to fall on the ground, as that's a symbolic loss. If it is, she could hide underneath it in the case of needing extreme survival. You know what, let's, for not tools. Tools. Ools. Oh, there we go. I think the sheet was having a little bit of a problem. Dun, 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 dun. Okay, that's what being a halfling gives us. Now, let's come down to being a fighter. Monk, we got to go a little bit prior to that. Here we go. Our proficiency bonus is going to be a +2. Second wind is going to be something that we get, as well as action surge. And we'll fill those in when we get down there. You can see up here where it says first and second. Our first level hit points are the maximum of the hit die that class offers, plus a con bonus. She's technically going to get 2d10 because she's second level. And you know what? Let's determine her hit points here in just a second. We have to fill in the ability modifiers. A couple other easy fill-ins. So we have all armor, shields as well, simple weapons, martial weapons. No intrinsic tool proficiencies. Saving throws are going to be strength and constitution. Skills, we're going to choose 2 skills from acrobatics, animal handling, athletics, history, insight, intimidation, perception, and survival. Ooh, okay. Well, we see she's very good at dex. Acrobatics would seem to be a natural fit there. There's no direct skill related to Constitution, so we can come down to Charisma or Wisdom. There's not a direct performance, though. As the way we rolled this character, while she can't take advantage of a feat yet, that might be something that she decides to do when she gets to level 4. Instead of taking the ability bump, she can take a feat that can open up performance or something else along those lines to her. She does have some wisdom, so let's go. You know what? Animal handling, because maybe she rides a horse. You can ride a horse with a standard as well, or drive a wagon. That'll be important. Let's give her animal handling and perception. There we go. Okay, we'll fill in those numbers in a second. She's going to get a little bit more stuff first. Chainmail or leather, longbow, and 20 arrows. Well, I think we're gonna go for that. Leather armor. We can also give her 2 martial weapons. Well, you know what? She may have a specialty in being an archer. That doesn't mean that she can't use other weapons. There are martial weapons that don't require strength. If a weapon has the finesse keyword to it, she can use dex for both her 2-hit modifier and damage. And there's not a strength prerequisite for a shield. Might be best to go martial weapon and a shield in this case. So let's put an indicator up here. Martial weapon. And we are going to give her a shield also. We can... I guess give her a light crossbow. Okay. For whatever reason, that form doesn't shrink the letters, so we'll have to be creative. Light crossbow. And bolts. And a Dungeoneer's pack or an Explorer's pack. I think she's more the overland type than waging wars in caves, especially being a standard bearer, carrying around a lot of tall things or things that can snag on rocks doesn't sound like it's going to be all that wise. Attacks and spellcasting notes. So here's Archery. So we can get rid of this note. And we'll just note that she is a champion. What else do we need to fill in? Okay, second wind. On your turn, you can use a bonus action, so bonus action 1d10 plus 2 HP recovery. To indicate once for a short or long rest. Okay. And action surge. This one is also going to be short or long rest. Gain an additional action this turn. That looks good. All of her equipment's there. Not too much left to do. In fact, while we did roll that she is going to be going into the champion line, she doesn't get that until level 3. So this is the direction that she will end up taking as we maybe come back to her, tell her story, level her up, have some fun. This can go. -1, +3, +2, +0, +1, and +2. While her strength is a -1, she is proficient in strength saves. This is going to give her a +1. Dexterity is +3. Con is a +4. Int is a +0. Wisdom is a +1. Charisma is a +2. Dex is +3. Let's fill all in. Let's fill in all of the dex. Here we go. +3 and +3. Next we have animal handling, which is wisdom, which is normally a +1, but she's proficient in this. Very good. Intelligence is +0. There we go. +0. Athletics is strength. So she's going to get a +1 here because she's proficient at least. I guess you have to have at least a little bit of strength to carry around a big banner, whereas it is a little bit more nimble to carry around a light bow and be able to fire it. Charisma is +2. Now we can come down here to passive perception. This is going to be 10 plus her perception bonus. She has a 13. Her level 1 hit points, now that we have this filled in, was going to be 10 plus her con mod. So that's 12. However, as she has gained another level, that's going to be her constitution modifier again, meaning 14. And then how I do hit points is half +1. So that way, yeah, you can roll the die, and sometimes you'll get a 1 or a 2. Sometimes you'll get a 9 or a 10. This way, you're always just a little bit over half, if you're looking for just a nice, elegant way to evenly distribute hit points. So this is going to give our little halfling fighter 20 hit point maximum, and she currently has 20 hit points. Her initiative is her dex bonus. So she's a quick little thing here, but +3. We'll come back for armor class in a second as we go down for gear. Which is going to come after wizards. There we go. And a little bit further. Here we go. Being a fighter, she gets 5d4 times 10 gold pieces also to start. $16, so she's going to get an extra 160 plus the 10 she gets for her background. So she's going to start with 170 gold pieces in addition. This lets you get a little bit more customization if you choose. You can play a poor character, or your DM can say, you know what, everyone just gets 1,000 and go to town. All right, don't need to worry about that. Trade goods, yeah, we're not going to worry about that. Here we are. Light armor, she's wearing leather. That gives her 11 plus a dex modifier, which is 3. So 11 plus 3 is 14. If she's wearing her shield, that's a little small. We'll do shield 16. That way you have a note and a reminder. You know what? If she's walking with nothing except the banner in her hands or the bow that's taking up 2 hands, she has a 14. If you do end up needing to draw your short sword, which I think is what we're going to end up giving her, short sword and shield, it will go up to a 16, as then she can go into melee combat. Our attack bonus is going to be dexterity plus proficiency, and archery is going to give us an extra 2. So she's going to get a plus 7. She's going to be very accurate here. However, the martial melee weapon here, although it could technically be arranged, and give her something like a net, that would be interesting. Although I think she needs some close quarters defense, especially if she already has the shield training. Sometimes, look, you get rushed in combat. You have to be able to hold your own. Rapier, scimitar, short sword, or interestingly enough, a whip. She seemed like a type of character that would have a whip on her. A whip and shield. I think that's a concept we can save for another fighter. Let's go back up here and look at scimitar, short seer. Slashing. Well, she already has piercing with her bows. Let's mix up her damage type and give her something to slash. We're going to give her then a scimitar. Because this is not ranged, she only has a plus 5. 1d6 plus 3 slashing. A light crossbow is 1d8 piercing. And a longbow is 1d8 piercing. That is heavy two-handed, yeah. Those are notes that you either can keep up in your noggin or make somewhere in your character sheet. I'm not going to worry about that for this simple character creation. We're going to have to just presume that we know Scimitar has finesse and everything is going to be accounted for. Afterwards, if you wanted to spend 170 gold in the market, here's all the prices for things. If you want additional arms armor, you can buy other packs and kits, basket, bedroll. Some of these packs, like the Explorer's pack, comes with X torches, backpack, bedroll, 50 feet of rope, etc. Not all of them, so you'll need to check. And then fill in if there's things here that you think would fit this character's personality, their proclivities, their collections, habits, hobbies. Maybe yeah, she has common clothes, but maybe at the end of the day she has just a nice set of robes that she wears to relax in. something like that. Sealing wax. If she is a standard bearer, maybe she's also a messenger, and so you want to equip her with a signet ring, kind of like what I have here, a signet ring, and some melting wax, so she can affix stamps and she can be a courier as well. Alright, this type of fighter gets no spells, so page 3 is going to be empty. And most of page 2 is going to be empty, too. This is a lot of things to fill in for when you're campaigning. If you have party members, you can list them under allies. Those can also be NPCs. You can type in, your insignia, a character portrait, things along those lines if you collect treasures along the way. Not just gold pieces, but did you find a valuable painting, maybe a jade dragon with ruby eyes? Those are particular things that you can list here. She does need a name. And we need to fill in maybe a little bit more personal info here. If she's a soldier, she's going to wear it short. Let's make it shortcut auburn. Kind of like a military cut, like shaved really short, just a little bit on the top. Her skin. If we've developed so far that she is going to be a courier, a standard bearer, she's going to be outside a lot, I think we can give her a nice... let's give her a nice dark tan. With freckles, even. She gets to be outdoors a lot. She enjoys it. We're building a story. Her eyes... let's give her brown eyes as well. With brown almond shaped. Lastly, we need to name this character. I always take viewer requests. If anyone out there wanted to suggest a name for this character, you are welcome to do so. Though for right now, let's choose something from the suggested name list. Barbarian, okay, just a little bit further up. Do-do-do-do. Here we go. Female, Andri, Bree, Callie, Cora, Euphemia. Ooh, that's kind of cool. Jillian, Kithri, Lavinia, Lida, Merla, Netta, Pela, Portia, Seraphina, Shayna, Trim, Vanny, and Verna. Okay. I think we are getting a feel for the culture behind the suggested names. I like Euphemia. The family names, and this is something I've run with in my own personal campaign, do tend to be natural, though maybe not necessarily directly natural, as you might find an elven family name being Moonbrook, if you translate it, or Thornbush, something along those lines. But we do have Tea Leaf, Thorngage, Green Bottle, Good Barrel. They are maybe ways that you can interact with nature, so they are natural, but not wholly so. Of course, then Lord of the Rings, you have Underhill, things along those lines. Euphemia, where do we want her to have come from a place, and she's proud of it. She wants to represent it, being a part of the lands. her people are... We're going to storytelling mode here. Her people are very... so let's call... Euphemia Pridegreen. There we go. Carry this down. It looks to me like we have a finished character. Yep, no spells. Alright, I'm going to take a quick break, maybe 5 minutes or so, freshen up a bit, maybe get some water for my voice because I've been talking a lot. I'll be back at... it's 12:12 my time right now. So yeah, I'll be back no later than 12:20. I'm going to go back to our intro card, and I will see you in a little bit.